for the third time in 4 years. It's the Heat, the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. Our panel on who has the edge heading into what is a must-see series. And it was a little too late for the Lakers, but did they find a key to slowing down Jokic? Well, not if he's hitting these types of shots, baby.
Just gets it off in time. It's up. Oh, it's good. Of course it goes in. Jokic from downtown. Anthony Davis just stares at him.
Welcome to NBA Today, presented by PNC Bank.
I mean, just ridiculous from Jokic. We are coming to you live from Chicago just hours after the future of the NBA. It has been determined with all eyes now on San Antonio after landing the top overall pick in the draft. But there are two other rounds of picks that need to be made, and many of the players vying to hear their names called, they are here at the NBA Combine, including Scoot Henderson, the consensus top 3 draft pick. He will be joining our show live in just a little bit. Welcome to NBA Today, presented by PNC Bank. I'm Malika Andrews, alongside the one, the only Zach Lowe. And what a night we had last night in the NBA. There was so much that we need to get to, so much that happened that usually, it usually just takes 2 to tango. But I'm going to bring in the whole party. Richard Jefferson, Kendrick Perkins, Jalen Rose, Ramona Shelfer, and holding it down in Los Angeles in our studio. Richard, since you are in LA, why don't you handle the highlight from that thrilling Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals last night?
All right, thanks, sis. And Zach, we don't need anything from the peanut gallery. Anyway, we had an epic battle last night. Nikola Jokic, Anthony Davis, those big boys were getting busy. Woo! They was bumping, wasn't they, Perk?
Yeah, bumping and grinding.
Bumping and grinding. And look, we all knew that it was going to be a matchup of the bigs, and it did not disappoint. But Jokic, in the first half, Perk, what did you see from him?
I saw him set the tone, be aggressive. He went through the chest of Anthony Davis. I thought he played with pace. Think about that for a second. And he was in his bag like he had fries at the bottom.
Yeah, 19, 16, and 7 in the first half. Perk, you never put up stat line like that for an entire game.
Yeah,
he did that in the first half.
That's like a season for you.
No. Research has confirmed.
No, research.
And speaking of confirming, there is no way that Christian Brown should be on Anthony Davis right there. Did what he had to do, but the Lakers were down big.
Oh, absolutely. But look, they kept chipping away. Look at this shot.
Can't guard that.
Like, how?
Make that with his eyes closed, man.
And think about this. AD is like, okay, I got you.
You don't want him out there, though. You don't want Anthony Davis guarding him at the three-point line.
He had no choice.
We had no choice.
Put somebody else on him.
And there was a little side step.
Yeah. Look, Jokic
I don't know if it was the Boosie fade Jokic got or what, but he was feeling himself.
Yeah, no, he was on fire. And then, look, we're going to jump to the fourth quarter. The Lakers actually made a push. Check out this shot by Jamal Murray. At the buzzer, even Bron, who's seen a heck of a lot of shots like that, gives him a thumbs up, double thumbs back up. Jamal Murray was probably surprised. But right here, look, Lakers down 14. They start to make a run. They start to chip away. Anthony Davis knocks down that big 3. Jalen, what did you see late game?
For the Lakers, they did a good job of doing this pick action up top. The Denver Nuggets didn't do a good job of communicating. Look, both times got Austin Reeves wide open threes.
And he made them.
And before you know it, the Lakers were back in the game. But later, they tried to do this same play. And for LeBron, it's a low percentage shot.
This is a low, and he was 0 for 3 before this shot. He had plenty of space. I thought he had a good look. That right there would have tied it. Gonna have to live to fight another day if you're the Lakers.
26% from 3 in the post.
He's a 2-time MVP. He very skilled. Obviously, as his numbers show, made some tough shots. We just try to make it tough for him. Switching up matchups and schemes on him. But he's been playing well through the entire season, and especially in this playoff. So you tip your hat to him.
I feel like the only difference is that Bron can jump higher than Jokic. That's the only difference that I can see.
That's a really offensive. I'm joking. I mean, to be compared with one of the best ever, or the best ever, I think it's really cool.
Nikola Jokic, he made history last night. Stat history. He's the first player with 30 points, 20 rebounds, 10 assists, and 70% field goal in a game. We have never seen that in history. Honestly, I'm still worried about Perk lying about his stats, Malika, so you can take it from here.
All right, well, we'll dive into Nikola Jokic while you check on Kendrick a little bit more. Zach, it was an utterly dominant performance from Jokic, and we were talking about it all day on NBA Today yesterday. This is going to be about AD. This is going to be about Nikola Jokic. What stood out to you from Nikola?
Yeah, there's no real stopping Jokic at this point. The combination of ability to score in the post, size and passing, you just don't know what's coming. And if we go to the tape, they ran the same simple play 3 times in a row in the third quarter of the game, and he got them 3 different ways. It's a simple little cross screen. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope right there at the foul line. Hits Anthony Davis with a little screen just to give Joker a little space. Post up number 1. We don't want to help. We don't want to help because he's a great passer. He's just going to back Anthony Davis into the restricted area. Boom. Thank you. That's easy money for Jokic. If you don't help, that's what happens. Next time down, same play, same screen. Now you're a little worried about his scoring. D'Angelo Russell, where are your eyes at? Where are you looking? Look when Jokic throws this pass. KCP hasn't even started his cut yet, and that ball is out of his hands. Here we go again. Same play. Anthony Davis tries to shoot the gap, go under, take a wide route. Jokic sees that, says, you know what? I don't need to go down there. I'll just come out here, shoot a 3. Or if you close out on me, help, drive, kick. Michael Porter Jr. 3. Same play, 3 different outcomes, 3 different ways he can hurt you. And you barely even notice. Right. He makes it look so easy, you barely even notice the variety of what he's doing to you.
34, 21, 14 for Nikola Jokic, which is just El Fuego on fire. But you know what they say, it's all about the adjustments. And we started to see that in the second half, a little bit more Rui Hachimura on Nikola Jokic. But let's take a listen to what the Lakers had to say about how they're going to approach this next game.
Maybe something we go to game 2. You know, obviously we got to go back look at the film, but just thinking about it right now, something that we like. You know, just to also have me, you know, roaming and things like that.
It's not any one coverage that you're going to be able to stay in versus that kid. Like, there's no one person that's going to stop him. It has to be done by committee. We didn't want to go too deep into the in-game adjustments, and you know, it's still that ultimate chess game. So we were comfortable with the results, gave us a chance to get back into the game. And, you know, it's one of the things we know if we need to go back to it, it's there. But along with several other things that we didn't unveil tonight.
So the Lakers, they whittled it down to 3 at one point, Richard. I mean, what did you see in the last 10 minutes that allowed them to get back into this game?
Well, that's what we're going to break down right now. Jalen Rose, Kendrick Perkins, a lot of playoff games here. What did you see from the Lakers in that second half that got them back into the game and let them wind it down to 3 almost?
A concession that we're not going to be able to stop the most unstoppable offensive weapon in the game, in Nikola Jokic. You just showed us a stat line that nobody else has ever gotten. You know why? Usually the biggest guy don't have a great handle. Usually the guy that grabs 21 boards ain't getting you triple doubles. This is something we haven't seen. And with Anthony Davis guarding him in the first 3 quarters, whether he was spinning off the post or whether he's hitting threes at the end of the third quarter, you concess. You give a concession and say, we can't stop him, but we can change something up. So here's what we're going to change up. We're going to take AD off of him. We saw Boston do this with Robert Williams III when they went big. We saw this happen in that series. And so now you put AD back in a position where he can roam. 1, 2, 3 dribbles, no help, dig down a little bit, and there go AD, and then you get the turnover. So don't be surprised if Rui Hachimura even starts in the next game, because you're telling yourself, AD, if he's going to make jumpers on him anyway, you might as well have a perimeter guy guarding him. And if he's going to be a driver, then you want AD to be able to roam, block shots, and grab rebounds.
Yeah, and AD was so dominant defensively in the first 2 series, and it was like, who's going to guard Jokic? And all the Laker fans were like, oh, well, we got AD. And I was like, no, it's not that easy. Perk, was there something that you saw?
Well, one, when you take AD off the ball, off of Jokic, and put him in the paint to be the guy that's roaming, you allow the guards to pressure up on the perimeter. So now Dennis Schroeder and those guys were tight and fighting up over screens because Jamal Murray and those guys were hesitant to turn the corner. But I also saw LeBron James actually came to the game in the second half. I saw him attacking downhill. And while we keep talking about Jokic, and rightfully so, because he did put in that work last night, Anthony Davis had 40 as well. And that's a problem that the Nuggets is going to have to deal with, because I'm looking at the podium and Anthony Davis and LeBron James look real comfortable right now after a loss.
Look, they looked a little too comfortable, but maybe it was confidence. Maybe they saw something in that game you saw Darvin Ham was talking about. But still to come on NBA Today.